Algebra, Expressions, Exam Examples Part 2. In this video, we're going to focus on algebraic fractions. You will find this from page 110 in the Namibian Mathematics textbook y equals mx+c, grade 10-11, part 1. I took this from the textbook. This is very, very important. The cancelling rules in algebraic fractions. You can only cancel if there's one term over one term. Okay, very important. It must be, that term must have a multiplier. Okay, let's rather just say, if there's a multiplier, that's one term. But as soon as I put a plus, then it's two terms. Then you cannot cancel. Okay. So only cancel if there's a multiplication sign. One term, one. I'll show you in the examples. You can cancel any top with any bottom. If there's a multiplication, as long as there are no plus or minus sign in the expression, unless they are in brackets and you can cancel out the whole bracket. Okay, very important. You may not cancel into a bracket. Either cancel the whole bracket or nothing. That's very important. I'll show you in the examples. But let's start. Simplify. Again, I'm going to make it a bit bigger that you see. Now, remember, this kind of simple ones, which I see in the question papers, can have a multiply or it can have a division. Now, if it's a division, I will just take the reciprocal. But what I like to do is, I first make it one fraction by multiplying top times top, bottom times bottom. I first don't cancel out. And now, then it's easier to cancel out. Then I can say it going 1, it going 2, and then the q's cancel, and it's 2p squared over 2. Very easy. Now this one, remember, there is 3 terms. And there is 4 terms. Okay, I didn't say it in the previous video, but I mentioned it in the textbook. Remember, factorizing. Always make one term. Okay, so that's part of simplifying. So, if I look at this and I'm going to factorize, this is a trinomial. Can you see? This is in group B. So if I start, I'm going to say, okay, 5 and 3, and let's make 2 and 1. So 6 minus 5, that's 1. And the biggest over cross gets a plus and gets a minus. Okay, then it's 2x minus 5, x plus 3. Okay, there is my, so that was a trinomial. That is grouping, but be careful for that negative sign. So I take out a, I get x plus 3, negative 2b, and now if I divide x, and the negative divide to negative is a positive. Please, please, you cannot say, oh, cancel, cancel, cancel. No, no, no. Can I just show you? This is already one term, but this is still 2 terms due to that negative. There's your one. There's your other one. You are in the middle of factor grouping. So take out the bracket as a common factor. And then it's a minus 2b. And now you have one term over one term. Now you conquered. Okay. And now you can say that cancel. But remember, it must be exactly the same to cancel out. And you are left with this. Okay. Not that difficult. Again, they don't ask that difficult examples in the exams. I think there's far more difficult ones in the textbook. Okay. I want you to stop the video and I want you to do number 1. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Now, if they set up a question paper like this, then they're very nice because it's almost like they give you a hint by saying, remember to factorize. Because if you see, you will see this is repeated there. Okay, but they start by saying 1a, and they just say factorize. And I see, oh, this is the difference between 2 squares. So it's x minus 5 and x plus 5, or other way around. That's the answer. And that was just to help you now with this one. It's almost like they help you. There's 2 terms on top. And if I look at the bottom, there's 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. Now, very nice. I already factorized this one. X plus 5, x minus 5. And now I'm going to do, now this is again in group B. Do you see what I call? There's a negative. So it's 1 and 1 and 5 and 7. So 7 and 5, if I subtract, I get that 2. And the biggest overcross gets, and do it in on the side, not a problem. And then x. So if I rewrite, I'm going to say x, I want to stay to my yellow. I'm going to say x plus 5, x minus 7. Okay, and now I can go and say, okay, this x plus 5 is going to cancel out. Very nice. You can stand. And what is left? You can put the brackets or you can just leave the bracket. It really does not matter. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's just go to the next page. Okay, let's continue with number 2. I want you to do the same. I want you to do one, stop the video, do one, continue the video, check. Okay, I'm just going to do all of them. This is typical examination examples. Let's start with number 2A. And as you can see, it's really not that difficult. Remember, if there was a division sign, you will just take the reciprocal. Now, as I said, I prefer to first do the multiplication before I cancel out. And then I will start and and remember you can press 45, ABC, 60. That will also work. And the x will cancel out and it's 3 over 4. Because 15 goes in 3 times, 15 goes in 4 times. As easy as that. Let's continue with number B. So 3 plus x and then 9 minus x squared. Remember, 2 terms, 2 terms. Now, I can just go and put a bracket on top and then I make it 1 term because I see its difference between 2 squares. So 3 plus x, 3 minus x, and I cancel, and it's 1 over 3 minus x. And that's your answer. Okay, let's go to the next one, number C. Just going to make space. As you see, and as I said, I saw this kind of examples in extended international question papers. So they also are sometimes very basic ones. Just make sure you always know your basics. Okay, let's start with this one. Take out the common factor, it's 2 terms. So I take out b, and it's a minus b. This is difference between 2 squares, so it's a plus b, a minus b. And then the a minus b's cancel, and it's b over a plus b. Please remember, you cannot cancel this b's because there's 2 terms at the bottom. Leave it. That's the final answer. Okay. Again, let's look at number D. This is going to be x to the power of 3 plus 5x squared, and that's going to be x squared minus 25. Okay, so this is going to be x squared. I also take out the common factor. Then it's x plus 5. Difference, it's almost the same. And then it's difference between 2 squares. And this cancel, and it's going to be x squared over x minus 5. You can put it in brackets or you can leave the bracket, doesn't matter. Okay, let's go to number E. Okay, number E. This is going to be 2x squared. Okay, I'm just going to take even another color. I think I see better with this one. Yellow. So this is going to be 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 over 3x squared minus 12x. Okay, remember, this is trinomial, and this looks just like common factor at the bottom. So, but this is in group B due to that negative. So let's just see 2 and 1, 3 and 4, or 4 and 3. So this is 8. Oh, no, this is going to work because this is 8 minus 3, and that is going to be 5. And then the biggest over cross product, which is that one, is a negative, and this is a positive. And then it's going to be 2x plus 3, x, let's just get it correct, x minus 4. Okay. And then it's going to be a common factor at the bottom, so 3x, and it's going to be x minus 4. Okay, and there, do you see the x minus 4's cancel? So it's going to be 2x plus 3 over 3x. And remember, you cannot cancel that x due to the two terms on top. Final. You can keep the bracket, you can leave the bracket as long as you have that final answer. And then I'm going to go for number F. It's really, if you can factorize, this is very, and this is why I said factorization keeps on coming up, and it's a very important thing. Take time, go to the textbook, look at the videos, and really conquer factorization. Looks already like grouping, can you see? Okay, so as soon as I see 4 terms, I think grouping. So it looks like me, in this case, it's nothing, but I can just put brackets around it. It's fine. Be careful for that negative. Do you see that? Okay, so it's negative, and it's 2a, and then it's 2x, okay, plus b. It's not plus. Do you see my mistake? Because, let me see, just come on. A positive divided by a negative is a negative 1. Okay, but usually as soon as you write it, you see, oh, it's a mistake maybe. Okay, so it's always that sign that changes. So if it's a positive, it becomes a negative. If it's a negative, it becomes a positive, and it's due to the negative. Okay, so then it's going to be 2x minus 1. And please, again, I emphasize this. You cannot cancel. If you do it in the exam, although you maybe get the correct answer, they will mark you incorrect because they said correct answer with right working, and that's not, because there's 2 terms on top. You first have to take out that bracket, and if you divide and everything cancel, it's 1. You have to make it first 1 term by taking out the common bracket, and now you can go and cancel, and it's 1 minus 2a over x. And that is the final answer. Again, you can leave the brackets or you can leave the bracket. Let's look at the last example in this video and then do the try nows. Okay, so write as a single fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so now it's 2. Now it can either be a plus or it can be a minus. If it's multiply and divide, then it's easy. Then it's almost just factorizing and cancelling out. But let's look at first the positive. Now, if there's more than one term on top or the bottom of the fraction, always put brackets around them. So put brackets, brackets, brackets. Now, make the denominators the same by finding the lowest common multiple. So what is the lowest common? It's x and x minus 1. Okay, it's just that you have to say all the things that's at the bottom. Okay, now, if there is an x, there's not an x, so I multiply with x minus 1. And whatever I multiply on top, I multiply at the bottom. If I look at this one, there's an x minus 1, but there's not an x. So I multiply with x, top, bottom. And now I just do it. I multiply out that bracket, put the x in front, then it's easier to multiply it. So then it's x squared plus 8x. And there. And now I just search for my like terms. So x plus x squared is 2. And then it's going to be 5x minus 4x. That's going to be 4. This plus, so it's 12x minus 5. Now, sometimes it can factorize, but very exceptional. But always just check. Check if it can factorize. Otherwise, it's the final answer. Okay, this one is very nice. This is a very, very good example because it can factorize at the end. So in this case, it's exactly the same. There's just now a negative. So put brackets around all if there's two terms on the top of the bottom. Now, what is the LCM? Now, they love asking this when it's just two different brackets at the bottom. So now it's just going to be x plus 2, x minus 3. That's going to be the LCM. So in this case, I say, oh, there's not an x plus 2. So I multiply with x plus 2, top, bottom. Oh, in this case, I see, oh, there's not an x minus 3. So I multiply. So I make sure that the bottom are looking the same, are going to the LCM. And then I just multiply out and just be careful to make unnecessary mistakes. Now, if it's a negative, and it's just to help you, first put a bracket and multiply out, because that negative must go in. And now you can take it in. So this is negative 5, but if you multiply, it's going to be, let's just see, this is going to be, oh, okay, no, I just multiplied first in. So I just multiplied in. So this is negative, this is positive, positive, negative, and then I simplify. And now, usually when it's, I can see there can be a common factor of 6. So I take it out, and this is, I love an example like this because it feels for me like magic. Because now I make it one term, and this cancel with this, and this is the final answer. It's also a typical examination question. Okay, let's go on. Let's do the last exercise, just 4 sums. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Again, I want you to stop the video. And actually, I can take that one out because it's just one. Maybe I will add later on. But for now, it's just one. So I want you to do A, B, C, and D. Again, I think it will be good to try one, continue to check me, try one, continue to check me. Okay, let's start with the first one. Try now. Is it 5 or 4? Let's just go back. Okay, 5. Okay. So if I look at this one, I'm going to start number A. And this is going to be 2 over x minus 5 plus 7 over 2x. Very simple, very nice one. Positive, 2 terms. And what will be my LCM? My LCM will just be the 2x. And don't forget to put your brackets, x minus 5. And then basically, I just go and I say, well, what must I must still multiply with 2x. Bottom, 2x. This one with that bracket x minus 5, x minus 5. And I like writing it in, even if it's in pencil. And now I go and I start doing it. So 2 times 2x is already 4x. I can just write it. If you want, you can first leave the bracket. I'm just going to put, it's not necessary. And it must end on the LCM. So then it's going to be 4x plus 7x minus 35, and that's going to be 2x, x minus 5. And that's going to be 11x minus 35 over 2x, x minus 5. And that's your final answer. Okay, that's number A. Very easy. I would advise you to again stop the video. First try to do it on your own and then check to see if you are correct. Number B. So x minus 8 over x plus 3x, x plus 1. Again, what I said, let me keep first to the blue. Put brackets, brackets. Okay. And what is my LCM? My LCM is the bottom. Don't say there's already an x. That x is, it's almost fixed. It's blocked into that bracket. So it's a separate x and then a bracket x plus 1. It's a unit, that. Okay, so with what must I multiply here? I must still to go to this LCM, x plus 1. And then on top, also x plus 1. Whatever I do at the bottom, I do at the top. Here to go to this red, x, and then top also x. And then I'm going to say x minus 8, x plus 1. I'm first just actually rewrite. This one is all right, so I can just, and I put it over that LCM. And then I start simplifying. So I multiply this bracket out, x squared plus x minus 8x minus 8 plus 3x squared over x plus 1. And then I'm going to say x squared plus 3x squared. That is going to give me 4x squared. And then I'm going to say this and this is going to give me negative 7x minus 8 over x plus 1. Okay, and that is going to be my final answer. Very nice. Now I go to the negative ones. Just be careful for your sign. The method is more or less exactly the same. It's just signs. Just stop and think of signs. Okay, so this is 1 minus y minus 1. And what I'm impressed to see how simple they ask it sometimes. So LCM, again, don't forget your brackets. So it's the separate y and then the y minus 1. But as soon as you put a bracket, you're going to see it's a block. Okay, and now you can say, to make this, I multiply with y. Whatever bottom, I do top. To make this, I multiply y minus 1. I can say multiply. Bottom, top. Okay, and now I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to say y minus, and keep your brackets. If you see negative, be very careful. Don't make sign mistakes. Unnecessary. And then it's going to be y. Remember there's a 1, so it's negative y plus 1, y minus 1. And that cancel, and it's 1 over y and y minus 1. And that's your final answer. Okay. And then we're going to end this video with number D. I'm so sad I could not find another factorization one. Okay, but practice that one in the example again. Example 5. Okay, so 2x over x plus 3 minus, oh, let's just get that pen correct, x plus 3 over x minus 5. And now remember what I said, go for the brackets first. Step 1, go for your LCM. It's plus and minus. So and usually if it's 2 brackets, oh, it's so nice. It's just the 2 brackets, it's the LCM. Okay, just be careful if they make a square there, then it's square, then it must be double. Okay, but in this not, I'll show you later one. If I come to the Namibian question papers, I saw one like that. Okay, so there I multiply with x minus 5. But I do the Namibian question papers of last year, first always in October, so don't forget that. Okay, so this is going to be, I multiply here with x plus 3, and I multiply with x plus 3. Okay, now I can just write everything nicely down. So it's 2x, and it's actually nice if you first write it down. Then you're going to prevent, especially the negative, don't forget, x plus 3. Oh, it's a double, do you see? Okay, but it's going to LCM, always remember. You can check it. Okay, so as soon as that step is correct, then it's actually easier. So it's 2x squared minus 10x. Now remember, if it's a negative and I want to put it in red, then first put it in brackets. It's just to prevent making mistakes. If you're good, you can leave it out. But in the exam, you're nervous, you make unnecessary mistakes. So this is going to be x squared plus 3x, okay, plus another 3x plus 9. And it's over the LCM. Okay, and now I'm just going to multiply in that negative. So it's minus x squared minus 3x minus 3x. All the signs inside the bracket change. Do you notice that? So x plus 3, x minus 5. So this is going to be 2x minus x. So 2x squared minus x squared is 1x squared. Okay. And this is 10 minus 3 minus, so it's negative 16x. And this is negative 9. You can check if it factorized, but my personal opinion, it will be a more obvious that you can see it can factorize. Okay, but you can quickly check. Okay, but it cannot factorize, so this is going to be your final answer. Okay, I like always to end. I just want to go documents. Okay, and this is for me, as I said, especially in this chapter, I refer a lot to the book, Group A, Group B, trinomials. So if you don't have a copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook, try to get your own or buy your own copy, and the books are available in the following bookshops. But it's sometimes good to first phone them and to find out if they have stock, or even to compare a little bit prices.